My job today is to get you from this to this to this. I'm not going to go into too much into why we plan for an essay, but as the old saying goes, prepare to fail, fail to prepare. Or was that the other way around? Anyway, let's dive straight in. So you might be looking at this plan and be thinking, I don't understand that at all. It's just a mess of words, colours, overuse of the underline tool. But let me talk you through it. It's very simple. At the top here, you put your course code, assignment 1, put your tutor name, I've took mine out. I just do some key facts, what the assignment is, the learning outcomes, the word limit, the deadline, the weighting, how much does this assignment make up to my final grade for this module, and what the assignment is. Now, just to touch on learning outcomes, I'm going to do a separate video on where to find your marks, and it all comes down to what your learning outcomes are. Pretty much every university, A-level, GCSE has learning outcomes, things you have to show you've done within the body of your work to show that you've learned what there is to be learned, if that makes sense. And it's important you hit that if you want to maximise your marks. Under assignments, I've got what the assignment is and I've got my learning outcomes. And below that, I've analysed the question. And again, I'm going to do a separate video on how to analyse the question, because in short, if you're not sure what's being asked of you, you're going to have a hard time doing the best you can on this essay. As you can see here, I've actually copied and pasted from the handbook the specific assignment learning outcomes. So as you can see, 50% of my mark comes from hitting those outcomes, but 25% comes from the structure, organisation and presentation of the coursework, whilst another 25% comes from the use of sources, including references and bibliography, that word. If you need some help in regards to referencing, you can see a couple of videos I did on my Student Support Sunday series here. Otherwise, let's have a look at what this led into. On the next page, I've had to choose a vulnerable learner group. I've made clear who I've chosen. I've put an introduction down, 500 words I've allocated from my 2,500, and I put some bullet points of what I want to cover in my introduction, which I will go through in separate videos. Now I've got my literature review title and how much words I want to use, and I broke it down into sections, or as it's a literature review, I've actually used a thematic approach, which I will talk about in another video. And you can see the colour coding links here. So the light blue is for objective B, and I can show where I've hit it, and then the purple is where I've hit objective D, and this is just for myself and for feedback, because I did take this to my tutor as I discussed in feedback. This allows me to see where I'm getting my marks from and how my essay is going to look, and it's just bullet points at the moment, but of course in my actual essay I'm going to flesh this out. And then at the bottom I've got my conclusion. I've allocated 300 to 500 words for. Again, some bullet points just to say how I'm going to go about my conclusion, but they're all pretty much the same, where you summarise, simplifies, you look for key links, you make recommendations. All that's going in another video on conclusions. But that's it, that's all the plan is. I mean, to be honest, you just need to follow a template. Put the key information at the top, analyse the question, analyse the learning outcomes, put down your sections, your introduction, your main discussion point, your literature review, your experiment, whatever it is. Put some subtitles down, you can always change them later. Just break it down into chunks, allocate a word count, and then start to put in some bullet points. And at first, put the bullet points you think is appropriate to answer the question, and then see how that links to the learning outcomes. And I kept it relatively even here, but on other essays I've been one-sided. For example, that might have been all purple with maybe only one light blue, and that means when I go in to get some feedback, or when I'm looking at making the best essay I can, I know I need to be paying much more attention on one learning outcome than the other, because I'm a little bit weaker on that side. And that's it. That is my essay plan. If you want to see what the final piece looked like, as I said, it achieved 85%. This was at level 6, which is the third year of uni, by far the hardest year of uni, and that's all because I did a plan. And not only should you do an essay plan, as I keep saying, go and get feedback off your tutor as well. So that's it for this video. Check out the other videos I'm doing to support this, such as analysing the question and finding out where your marks are. Or if you wish, just go straight on to the next section, which is looking at the body of your essay, the discussion, the literature reviews, or whatever it is that you're doing. And check out the rest of my channel to make the most of your essay.